I'm about to show you a fun recipe. It is for candied jalapeños. Yes, spicy jalapeños in this beautifully spiced, sugary sweet syrup that turns into a thing that people affectionately call cowboy candy. It is so easy. Let me show you how to get started. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a big pile of jalapeños and cut them into little thin rounds. I am taking my handy dandy vegetable slicer, putting it on a bowl, wearing my gloves to protect my fingers from those peppery juices, and I am just gonna slice them into little rounds. So you just keep doing that with your knife or with your slicer until you have a bowl full, and now I'm gonna show you how to make the syrup that brings it all together. So the next easy thing is we're going to make our spiced sugar syrup. Really simple. This is cider vinegar, and we're gonna add to that some sugar, quite a bit of sugar. That's where we get the candy in our cowboy candy. And then I'm gonna add 4 things to flavor it. This is powdered ginger, celery seed, granulated garlic, and a little bit of turmeric. And I'm just gonna stir this to help that sugar dissolve, and we're gonna let it come to a boil and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. That's all you have to do. So look at this. After just a little bit of cooking, see how it gets thick and syrupy and kind of falls off your spatula? That's what you're looking for. And then we're gonna add our sliced jalapeños. Now I want you to let this come back up to a simmer, set your timer for 4 minutes, and then we're ready to put them in the jars. So here we go. 4 minutes is up, and these are ready to go in a jar. Make sure these jars are really clean, squeaky clean, because we're not gonna preserve these, we're just gonna stash them in the fridge, and they'll keep for a long time, but you want that really clean jar. I've got my handy dandy funnel, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm going to transfer our cooked jalapeños into a jar and come up pretty close to the rim. Just keep at it here, a few more scoops. And then we are gonna pour on some of this delicious syrup. Come up to the top, and then I want you to take out your funnel and take something like a chopstick or a skewer and poke them around a little bit, because we wanna make sure there are no little hidden air pockets in there. And we wanna make sure that these are totally submerged. So if you need to top it off a little bit, please do. Then we're gonna take your tight-fitting lid, we're gonna close the jars to what they call fingertip tight, like that. And we're gonna let these sit undisturbed in a little corner of your cutting board, undisturbed until they cool to room temperature. And at that point, you can put them in the refrigerator, and they're going to keep for weeks. Now you can use this cowboy candy like you might use a relish or pickles or something, but next I'm gonna show you one of my favorite recipes on how to make the most of your candied jalapeños. So I'm gonna use some of our cowboy candy to make a wonderful cheese spread. It is so easy. I have here some of our jalapeños, and then I have Worcestershire sauce, a tiny bit of our brine straight out of the jar of our jalapeños. I have some very finely chopped green onions and some finely chopped pecans. And I'm gonna stir this together with a tiny bit of mayo. So stir this around until it's well combined, and then I'm gonna add 2 kinds of cheese. Both of these are cheddars. One is extra sharp and one is seriously sharp, and you do wanna grate your own cheese. You're gonna be so much happier if you grate it. One on the large holes of a grater and one on the fine holes. And that combination of textures really helps this come together. And then we're just gonna fold it together. We're just gonna give this some folding and some stirring until every bit of this cheese is coated with that delicious combination of our jalapeños, our crunchy green onions, our gorgeous pecans. See how this comes together? with just a little bit of stirring and folding. Now I want you to cover this and put it in the refrigerator for a few minutes to firm up a little bit. Now you could serve this as a cheese spread, but I have a great idea of a beautiful way to serve it to make it even more fun. So look what I did. I took that lightly chilled cheese mixture and I took my handy dandy little scooper here and I formed it into little bite-sized cheese balls. I love to call these cheese bonbons. And now for a little bit of a finish, I'm going to roll these in finely chopped pecans. Now you're gonna get about 2 dozen of these little bites from that amount of our base mixture. And I love how these cute little cheese bonbons are an updated version of the cheese ball that everybody loves at a party. I could not be happier with how this all turned out. Look, we made the little ones, we made one big one, we garnished it a little bit, and this is going to be a tempting treat the next time you have folks come over. And when you make them, people are gonna talk about you in the very best way.